And we are actually live. Welcome everyone to our new stream. In this stream, we are going to talk about the Gillete debacle, but I will pull it a little bit further than just Gillette. But everyone to our new stream. We are going to talk about the Gillette debacle. But terrible me. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Gillette debacle. We're going to pull it a bit further. So I'm not just going to talk about Gillette. Or we're not just going to talk about Gillette. We're also going to talk about all the other Procter&Gamble brands, because why the hell not? But there's always a lot of people at the beginning of the stream. Not. So I think we're going to have a bit of banter for 15 minutes before we start talking about the actual topic. Guys, you're okay with that?
Banter.
Okay, so first off, I'm going to chill myself. I made a new channel, a Dutch channel. Now, most of the people here are English, but if you're interested in my Dutch channel, drop me a line and I will send you a link. Okay, so
how do I say ich kann kein Deutsche sprechen in Dutch or Dutch sprechen?
Ik spreek geen Nederlands.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm actually engaging on that second channel.
Yes, I have 2 subscribers.
That's
Me and
unfair.
I was first.
No.
Where's the link?
No, you guys are English. I mean, I don't have subtitles. It's just Dutch.
I don't care. I'm just gonna link it.
All right then. Let me see if I can find it.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. So you can link that on Twitter as well.
Will everybody share this live link on like their Twitter and stuff? I think that'd be great for Modwain if we all like share that he's gone live.
Yep.
I never do that, but yeah, thank you. That's a good idea.
I like to automatically go to Twitter, so
I don't Twitter, so I sorry.
No, put it on your Facebook, Minds, Gab, whatever you're on. You don't have to. Jeez, I'll do it. Dang, people.
Yo, you've actually got followers. I've got none.
Well, Alicia, you have more followers than all of us, even though I might seem to have more subscribers. You have a more active base than I do.
I do have an active base. We should also, you know what? We should also talk about what Roku is doing. Do you know what Roku is?
No.
So Roku, it's a way of live streaming on televisions, and I have a lot of Roku sticks because it's really convenient. So you can like download apps like YouTube, and you can download anything really. But they had InfoWars on there, Alex Jones InfoWars, and the left attacked Roku, and they're removing it. And this is the censorship is so bad right now that it's actually starting to terrify me a little bit as well, because all of them, ironically, they're in California, of course. They're living in this strange bubble, and if they keep silencing everybody, it's. Well, I just think of if communism comes to America, like the United States, it's going to be like the worst civil war.
It's interesting with the platforms. I have InfoWars on my Android phone, and it wasn't removed. I don't know if Android can remove an app once it's installed. It's kind of frightening with these TV set-top boxes, because they have more control over it, I think.
What they can do is every now and again, Android will do an update.
Yep.
And what they could do is they could make the app not function after the update.
They could.
And then
they could upload a broken version. Yeah,
and then refuse to let them install an updated version of the app, and they could get it off that way.
Well, would be a way. I don't know whether that would be fully legal, though. I'm not sure if they can pretend to be an app, that was kind of taken. That might be a can of worms. But I think that
no, they just put a little bug in, because things break all the time after an update.
That's true, but I mean, there's other ways to do this, but let's not get into it. I don't think they can just replace an app from a third-party vendor with their own.
App. Put a bug in Android.
Yep.
So that the app doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Don't touch the app.
Yeah.
Break Android.
Yeah.
So that the app doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe. I'm saying maybe because the reason I'm saying maybe because
you don't touch the app.
Right.
You
Thanks.
break Android.
Yeah, but I'm still saying maybe. Can I say why?
Okay.
Because these apps use APIs and they share them. So if you break something for one app, it might affect another 100 apps. So it's not that easy.
Very targeted.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what you could try, it's going to get very technical, but you might possibly intercept network traffic if it goes to a certain place. Maybe something like that.
You work out which APIs they use. You put a little bit of code which says, if it's this, go wrong without a decent error message.
Yeah, maybe.
You could write it in, but people can find it. But I wanted to respond.
Yeah. Well, if it's open source.
I wanted to respond to something Alicia. So hick. I wanted to respond to something Alicia said. Alicia said, "If the communists come," and now I'm going to be the devil's advocate. What makes you think they're not there yet?
They're already there.
Oh, they're already here. They're already here. But what I mean is,
yeah,
like if they're, I don't know how to word it, but there's some weird stuff going on. Like, I went. So, in April, the truck drivers may do a strike. If they do that, that's going to cause some serious chaos in America. I actually done a video on my old channel where the 3-day strike for truck drivers would do untold damage, right? But so I went in and I thought, well, I'll get some canned food goods, so that I have a variety in my my stockpile. Wanted a variety because you don't want food fatigue. And I went to Walmart because Walmart sells the cheapest canned goods, right? So I'm going to go the cheapest. And I went to the checkout and the lady's scanning. And then all of a sudden the computer bleeps and it won't let her scan anymore. And it said, customer has reached food limit. No more. You can't ring any more up. And I was like, what the?
Food limit.
Yeah, there was only so much that I could buy. Now, luckily, the lady was nice. She let me pay for that part, and then she rang up a second one, and I used a different card because luckily I have 2 different bank accounts. But it was a little bit creepy. And then also we had the, I think it was FEMA or whoever in the America that tells people to, get a 3-day supply of food. All of a sudden, they had a report, and it was only up for like a day. Well, it was up only for a day, and they said that you should have 3 months worth of food, and then it was taken down. So it was really, it's just, maybe I just have the heebie-jeebies because of all the censorship and stuff, but something creepy is going on. And then we have all of these ads blatantly attacking men and saying that they're social justice companies. Obviously, yeah, the socialists are here. They're here. But what move are they going to make? When is it if the central bank decides to go SJW, then what? We already have MasterCard being.
Well, have you heard, Alicia? Have you heard there's a thing in America apparently where there's a central committee where the banks can be instructed to not give financial services to people who are a reputational risk. The honey badgers were talking about this last night.
Yeah, FIB or FI something. It's some insurance big body, FIB or something.
So it comes from government. It's
yeah. They wrote it's like a Title IX letter. It's not like
Oh my
a law or anything. They just made a recommendation that banks shouldn't deal with customers of ill repute. So
well, that's horrible.
it is horrible.
Well, I know that. So, marijuana was legalized in a few states, but excuse me.
No.
Hey, nobody.
Hey.
Sorry, the central banks, what they did is they're not allowing anybody to put their money in the bank that sells and distributes marijuana. So it's already begun. Whatever's been put in place, it's already begun, and it scares me.
Yeah.
The one with marijuana, I can kind of understand just a little bit.
No, I can't. If they're not breaking the law, why is a bank telling the world what to do?
Because they're still technically breaking the federal law.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Then it's up to the federal government to do something about it. Is the federal government doing something about it?
Nah.
Well, I don't know if you say if.
I'm sorry, Raven. Let me finish this one. If the federal government isn't doing something about it, that means that the federal government is endorsing it,
Or at least condoning it.
Thank you.
Or just not enforcing it and waiting for somebody to break the law, so maybe they'll enforce it later?
There are two ways to deal with a law. You enforce it or you do not. If you do not enforce a law, that law loses all its meaning. Because if you then start enforcing it on someone else, that someone else can go to the judge and say, hey, judge, look.
You mean like circumcision of boys in UK?
I'm sorry, Real Raven. Let me finish this one first. If someone gets arrested under a law and they let other people slide publicly, so not, we haven't gotten around to him yet. No. If you let publicly people breaking the law, and then you arrest someone for breaking the very same law, then that person can say, listen, we're all supposed to be equal under the law. I'm being charged with this. They are not. Therefore, the law is unjust.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's happening with circumcision in UK. Boys are circumcised, although it's against the law. Girls are not circumcised, and it's enforced on girls. It's not enforced on boys.
Boy circumcision isn't illegal by law.
Yes, it is. Is it?
No,
it is.
Female genital mutilation is illegal.
No, it's not. It's not true. It actually is factually legal. And who was it? It wasn't Mike Buchanan. Was the other guy?
Yeah, no, Mike Buchanan.
Guys, if I may, I respect.
It's actually legal.
I respect that you all have this sudden urge and fascination to talk about male penises, but I came to the stream to talk about Gillette. So if we can get that going, let's get that going.
No, that's the banter part.
Oh,
this
hello,
is the banter
nobody.
part.
Sorry.
The banter part is always starting with penises.
No. I've had it up to the fucking gills with the fucking circumcision shit on Twitter. It's done. I don't care. I really don't.
Well, you don't care, mate. Some of us find it important.
My example was going to be how all the celebrities get sent to rehab for drug offenses and all the other ones get sent to prison for the same offenses.
That's a sensible way to sideline. Go with that. Not Real Raven's penis obsession.
So, like, if they're all equal under the laws, shouldn't the celebrities go to jail for the same offenses as poor people?
Yeah, Madonna send her to jail. She threatened to blow up the White House.
Oh well.
Well, to be fair, I've sat in on the court system the last 3 months, watching case after case after case after case, and the majority of first-time offenders actually do get just a slap on the wrist. What they do is they say they give them jail time, right, 180 days, but the judge suspends it as long as they stay clean for a year. Then it just goes away.
Yeah.
So I think that the media, and this is like the SJWs, they portray one thing that is maybe statistically accurate, but is in a weird sort of way, because statistically he got 180 days in jail, even though he didn't.
Yes.
And so all of these things that we have are skewed and misrepresented. And then if you live in a state that is way SJW and that's all you see, then you get commercials like Gillette, that horrific piece of crap that was, I mean, it was garbage, and they're going to make so much money off of it, even though they blatantly are completely sexist, misogynist assholes. Asshole. Oh, sorry, whatever. They're just. It was so disgusting. I've never been so. There's only one other commercial I saw this week that I thought was more disgusting than that commercial. Only one.
Was it on Adult Swim?
No, I don't have TV, like regular TV. But have you guys seen the Planned Parenthood's New York commercial to get money?
Well, we're all European, so it's very unlikely.
No. What's in it?
It's so bad. It says, what is it? Something like, I'll find it while you guys talk. I'll find the message that it said, because I don't want to get it wrong. So you guys talk. And
apparently something very egregious.
So yeah, boys will be boys.
Anyway, I think this is a good segue to start about the actual topic.
Right.
By now,
boys.
I think all of us have seen the Gillete.
Can I just say, I have not.
Nope.
Boys will be boys, will be boys, will be boys.
No.
Okay.
We'll tell you about it.
I don't even need telling about it, because I already know exactly what it is. Because I've been immersed in the social justice lying bullshit for long enough to understand all the talking points.
Oh no, John, it's a special kind of terrible. Like it really is.
No. I have heard people talk about it.
You need to see it.
I don't. I want to sleep
he doesn't.
tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
He wants to have more adventure and less politics.
It is funny that they use Anna Kasparian, out of all people, to show how bad men are.
You mean
hey, come on, Modwain, that
fucking
makes sense.
better than you?
No, that makes sense. She's better than us, right? She's better than us,
No, she's
right?
fucking better than us.
Right? She's better than us, right?
Right.
Better than us. Well, if you know that this is the person that is telling you that you're a bad person, you know that you're doing something well.
Well, she knows. She works with Chet, so she knows what a toxic man looks like.
Anna Kasparian is so full of herself, she thinks she should have been on the Mona Lisa.
Is she still relevant?
But you have to admit, she has such an Aryan nose.
No, she's Armenian.
She is.
Her nose is so Aryan. It's
100%.
Where do you think the original came from?
It's like 100% pure
also,
Aryan.
Has she not had surgery as well?
Yeah, she had a nose job.
It's so Aryan, her nose, you know. JF brought it up on his show, and the whole chat was going mad. She had a nose job. Yeah. She was just trolling the chat, and it's just like, yeah, she's. I must say, she's so pure. Yeah, he knew it, of course. You know, it's just like, but her nose definitely attests to the fact that she must be she's so beautiful, so Aryan.
Her nose is being a celebrity you can afford.
Well, she's a Caucasian.
Yeah,
well,
She can hate herself as well.
And I like what AIU calls her hook nose Anna.
She did have a hook nose.
Yeah, that's what he calls her, because she's. I think he holds that inside she still is.
Stuck with the Turk, and you're an Armenian.
Mute him.
You want to disguise the fact you're an Armenian in case he kills you.
Anyway, so let's go back.
She's not working with the Turk. She's working with a water buffalo.
Yeah, a Turkish water buffalo.
The Turkish water buffalo.
She's
an entirely different breed of moron.
She's an example of Stockholm syndrome.
But she's only a side. She's only like a sideshow in the whole ad. You know, she only opens up that whole section when they show the whole kind of wall of different kind of. I think the most important thing in the beginning, from the audio point of view, is not what she says, but that it starts with three, not just one. It starts with "Me Too." There's three audio snippets that they pack into the first 2 seconds. It's sexual harassment, Me Too, and something else. 3 things they say.
Now look. Let's look at the sexual harassment thing. Okay, white men, because all of the men that are bad. I mean, there's one black guy that's bad, and all the other ones are white. Yeah,
that comes in later.
It's a coincidence, obviously. The first men who actually stand up against toxic masculinity are men.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this motherfucker.
But now let's look at reality. If we look at rape cases in America.
Yeah.
What happened more?
Right? But that wouldn't be politically correct if you were doing it by numbers, right? You couldn't show it's again political correctness to show a POC to do anything bad anyway.
But can I
what I thought
on that, because POC are also much more likely to be subject to false rape accusation.
At least the men.
Why are we calling them POC?
Well, what's in this screen ain't wrong.
Person of color. I don't know. Black. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, why are we validating that politically correct bullshit? Just call them what they are. They call us white.
I'm not going to use that word.
Use the word white.
Yeah, let's say black. But what's interesting?
Asian people, Middle Eastern people.
Black, say African, Czech, Turk, say whatever, but call them what they are, because grouping them by this color bullshit.
Call them Bantu then.
Color, it's demeaning to them.
Okay, what do you call them?
Bantu.
Just what they are.
No, they're not all
what are they? I mean,
who am I talking to?
No, I mean you have to. You say don't use that name, but you don't tell me what name to use.
Turk, African, Asian,
black.
Call them African.
Use whatever they're
American.
Yeah, I'm saying just identify them by their by whatever their ethnicity is, because grouping them by this whole person of color identity is demeaning to them, or at least I think it is.
So do I.
Okay.
Because if we look
well, I would say it's still hard. I think
and I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, if that's what it sounds like. I'm just
it sounds like that, but no, it's just a little bit difficult. That's all.
What you really think, Real Raven?
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's just that
I'm just it's annoying.
Would brown people? Yeah, that's fine. Would brown people be okay? Because I think it's not really Asians or anything. It's really brown people.
You mean black people? Because Asians are brown.
Or rather,
guys, I have a good name.
Brown men.
High light deflecting individuals.
No, we are highlight deflecting individuals.
Okay, highlight absorbing individuals.
Yes, that's better. Light absorbers.
Light absorbers.
No, nobody. What you said reminds me of the whole blue eye, brown eyes experiment.
I saw.
It's like, you're black, right? Yeah, I'm black. And you're proud of the fact that you're black, right? Yeah, why not? So why shouldn't we call you black? I don't know.
Yeah. So. I first thought that the main feature of the Gillette ad was that it's just anti-men or like misandrist, but I think it's more racist now. I saw. You know what it reminded me of? There, like what you said. Like if you look to the statistics and see that there's 46 white men doing bad things, and then there's 6 black men doing good things. I think that's Paul Joseph Watson kind of.
That's racist.
Down. But it reminded me of a movie, Bird Box. Have you seen that? That's on Netflix.
No, I
have it, but I haven't seen it.
It's a zombie movie.
That's the one with the challenge where people are driving blindfolded, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Darwin Award nominees.
Yeah.
It's funny because I found it quite entertaining when I saw it. Although I had obviously already noticed that it was, John Malkovich was the Trump voter and the bad guy. Although he kept warning them of dangers, and they ignored him, and then in consequence, a lot of people got killed. But he was the absolute, he was basically the hated guy, And then apart from that, there were kind of bad guys. They were all white, and the there was one black dude who rescued everybody, and I think he sacrificed himself as well. He was so good, and only white people could get kind of corrupted by this disease and turn bad.
The new Hollywood orthodoxy. Only men are bad.
But this one it's so obvious, and then at the end they go to some sanctuary, and in the sanctuary, I'm sorry, spoiler alert. So if you want to still watch it, then don't listen for 20 seconds. In the sanctuary, there's a lot of blind people, and all the white people in the sanctuary, the non-seeing people. Or all the white people are non-seeing, so they're basically not a danger, because they can't be infected by the bad. Whereas like the seeing people are all non-white, so they're basically better. They're immune to this disease.
I thought it was based on mental disability.
No, what do you mean?
Sounds like it.
Well, I don't understand.
The people who have a mental defect could see the monsters, but they didn't commit suicide. And everyone who doesn't have a mental defect committed suicide.
Yeah, I mental defect or social.
Safe.
And so, like the assumption is that if you're white, then you're basically susceptible to being a sociopath. That's the whole idea, and I think that's a complete parallel to the Gillete ad. To bring it back to that, whites are basically sociopaths, and they need to be socialized into being normal beings, like non-whites all are naturally.
Oh yes, because no whites never do
I'm sorry,
anything
people,
wrong ever.
I want to bring it back to the topic at hand, because this is
I thought I
basically.
did.
Yeah, we're sidetracking a little bit, but this is basically what Gillete is now pushing us. It's telling us man bad, and it's not even saying man bad, it's saying white man bad.
White man bad. Yeah, white man bad.
What is this doing to our boys? What is this doing to our men? What is this doing to our society?
Well, boys don't shave, so I don't think they really care.
Destroying advertisements, that's what it's doing.
No, I think it. I mean, I don't know how many of the 220,000 likes were bought, but I think there is probably a portion of those 220,000 likes of the video out of the 800,000 votes on the video that were probably genuine, and probably by parents.
Or by organised SJWs, because they're fucking good at all.
Yeah, same thing. Okay, the hope is that they don't have children to care for.
And we also know, and this has been reported several times by different channels, a lot of downvotes have been disappearing. A lot of negative comments have been disappearing. So how honest is the vote counter at this point in time?
We don't know. I mean,
Not at all.
Checked. I made my own test with 6 of my accounts, Gmail, 6 Google accounts, and out of 6, one of them lost a vote. I think the other ones all retained the downvotes. So I'm not sure how easy it is to vanish votes. Obviously, you can vanish comments. Everybody can do that. You can delete comments.
It's already 1 in 6. But let's pretend it's not 1 in 6. Let's pretend it's 1 in 10. 1 in 10%. 1,000. That's a lot of votes gone.
Yeah. If there is a systematic thing, it would be interesting to. I don't know if there is a Social Blade or something. There's probably a site that monitors the growing and falling of likes. So it would be interesting to see if there was like a lot of fall in the dislike counts. Let's say in a period, let's say over an hour, dislikes reduced by 10,000. That would mean that 10,000 people started suddenly to like the video or not dislike it anymore, which is very unlikely. But yeah, I'm sure you could kind of measure that, especially with the big numbers like we have here. So that would be interesting to do some analysis on.
But I wanted to bring it a little bit back to what I wanted to say, because we all agree this one is bad. And I know that there have been quite a few channels out there condemning the Gillette commercial, and I'll 100% endorse the condemning of this commercial. But what can we as a society do to let this company know?
Well, we write to them.
Okay.
We have to contact them. That's the first thing. Everyone you know needs to contact them and say it's not only not acceptable, but that they will have to consider
Can we
buying
just
any of their brands.
Before we do that, though, can we talk a bit more how it's bad? Because I don't think we've talked about everything yet. There's 2 places in the video, and I think they're central, where there's a black person stopping a white person from talking to women. And saying it's not cool, and the normal heterosexual behavior is being demonized here. It's basically. And I think that's really important. I think that is really something that needs to be put into words somehow when it's being criticized, because I don't know what they were thinking, It's like you can't talk to a woman if she's like walking through the streets in a slightly sexualized outfit, like short shorts, midriff is showing, and the white guy tries to walk behind her. He doesn't say anything, and the black guy says, stops him and said, "Not cool, bro." That's the one. And then the other one, I'm just gonna share that here on screen. That's this one. It's these 2 girls and I think that's the pivotal one. There's these 2 girls at the pool, right? And they're talking to each other, and they're making these annoyed faces. And then there's a kind of pudgy. All the white guys are fat, by the way, in this thing. There's a pudgy kind of guy on the left-hand side who apparently says "smile, sweetie" or something like that, which might be annoying. And
all
then
the
this
white guys are fat.
Steps in. Now, I think this one is basically, that sums it up. It's basically, these are my women.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're priming us for a particular religion to take over, because you're not allowed to talk to women. Women are segregated.
No. It's not just you're not allowed to talk to women. Look at the look on the left-hand girl. That's the one who was kind of like had a really sour face.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Friend. And look what she's. Oh, look! There's a real man now. There's a. It's not savior. It's more. It's like, I don't know. This is me,
Well, the Black Knight.
No. It's the alpha male, and the girls are like, we're here in next to no clothes, but only alpha males are allowed to notice.
And he has his hands over them, basically. It's like these are mine, And it's basically, white men get back to the queue. You can't really talk to women. You can't really approach them. How dare you? And I think this is deeply racist,
It's deeply racist, and it is, and nobody's, we're talking about from the male perspective, but it's also sexist towards women.
Yeah.
Like we're so stupid and special that we don't have a right to speak for ourselves. Wait, now think about that, right? She's pissed at the board meeting because a guy speaks for her, but all of a sudden she's at the pool and a guy speaks for her and it's okay.
But he's allowed to, right? He's the real male. He's allowed to be male.
Yeah, but it's because obligation. The message is no, that you're obliged to notice, step in, and do something. You're obliged to be the savior.
That other girl at this exact moment doesn't seem too pleased that he's stepping in, though.
Well, but why is it, okay, so why is it that
I think she is.
In the boardroom it's okay for a man to speak for, or it's not okay for a man to speak for a woman, but when we're at the pool it's okay for a man to speak for a woman? Because that's what he's doing. And I get this whole thing is racist and sexist and just every bad thing, but it contradicts the way that you're supposed to treat women. So you're supposed to talk to them in the boardroom, but not at the pool.
Yeah.
Only if you're white. It's. I think it's more racist than sexist, to be honest.
The message is know your place. Assess yourself, and if you're not sufficiently attractive,
yes,
walk away.
Either not sufficiently attractive or not high enough on the intersectional ladder. This is the other thing. Like there is a deep.
Yeah, but it's not a coincidence that he's the tallest. He's buff. He's young and attractive.
Yeah,
those things are not
points there.
A coincidence.
But there's also intersectionality. They have one black guy starting off the Boys Will Be Boys. He's also a little bit. He's also a little bit bigger than the other guy, so that's a point for you as well. But I don't know. I think like there's two places. There's the one at the pool, and then there's the one on the street where a black guy stops a white guy from approaching his women. That's basically the way I read it, anyway. You know, there's nothing positive about that. You know,
No.
and they kind of sneak it in.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to disagree. I was just trying to.
No, you're right as well. You know, I think it's a bonus that you get. Okay, you're not white, so you're by default. This is the other one. I know, John, you haven't seen it. That's the other one. Is to act the right way. So there's this woman. She's walking through the. I don't know if you can see my screen. So she's walking through the streets, and look at her attire. Like hot pants, see the midriff. She's kind of sleeveless shirt, and then there's this guy in the middle.
A decently attractive woman.
Yeah, but did you notice the woman on the bench with the phone also scanned her as she walked past?
Let me see. Yeah, okay.
So it's not it's not just the men noticing her. Look at the woman in the plaid shirt.
Yeah, man, she's checking out that ass. Woo.
Yeah, she's checking her out as well. So it's not just men doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's I've slowed it down to half speed, by the way, because it all happens super fast.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's like, you know, they lie by omission.
But you know, she's not going to be rebuked. What's happening next is the interesting thing.
That's what I'm saying. They lie by omission because everyone's noticing her, and it's like some noticing is okay and some is not, and we get to decide which is which. And I'm sorry, if you go out in public, expect to be looked at.
Yeah, it's not this noticing that they're criticizing. It's literally the interfacing. You know,
doesn't matter. If you go out in public, you are responsible.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just trying to criticize what's in the video, not what you.
This video right here, it's like the dude hasn't even done anything yet, and the guy.
No, he's just literally walking. He's just literally walking after this woman to maybe say hello or to say something, and that's not cool, bro. Because you know, it's like it's basically these women belong to the
black men,
to the harem. You know, to our harem.
It's even funnier. Do you guys remember that, what was it, 2 years ago, there was this woman that walked around 10 hours in Harlem to record how many catcalls she got. I can still remember how many catcalls she got from white people.
Was that none?
Yeah, that was indeed a very round number. So they are not only trying to push a narrative, they're also pushing it in such a way that reality is absolutely gone from the story.
Yeah, there's 100% political, and this is why I was saying I didn't need to see it, because, you know, all these things are tropes in the social justice BS.
Oopsie, I have to say thank you, man. I've been looking for the best way to make that Gillette joke, but indeed, Gillette, the brand you best forget.
That would work for me.
Good one. I have to recall that one.
So anyway, so I the only problem is, I think it's kind of hard to criticize these parts that I think that it's racist, but it's kind of hard to put that into words, into a let's say if you were to put an email or a letter or something to Procter&Gamble criticizing it, how would you?
Well, no, you just criticize it in the round, mate. You don't have to criticize it point by point. You just criticize it in the round. You just say this is an appalling message. You are blaming all men, for the behavior of a tiny minority. We know it's a tiny minority, and
Which
this is not any of it.
But for the behavior, I mean, you can blame me for a white guy walking after a woman. It's not a criminal act. I don't even.
Yeah, that's why I said behavior. That's why I said behavior.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're conflating two different things. They're conflating normal behavior with at the beginning Me Too and harassment and rape. That's the problem. They don't just say you make everybody responsible for behavior and generalize. That's what a lot of ads do. They conflate different things into one thing and mix it together in one terrible soup.
Yeah, because it's all the social justice.
Guys,
bullshit.
I'm going. Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to bed. See you tomorrow, guys. A lovely talk.
Good
This.
night.
Yeah, good night, Carlos.
Yeah.
Take care, bro.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Sleep
sharing.
tight.
I would love to know what the actual
Real Raven, 1 second, mate. I posted the Gillette website where you can go to gillette.com and you can contact them. Do I think this is necessary? No. Do I think this is useful? Yes.
Yes.
But it won't be as useful as we like to think, because in all fairness, even if we start boycotting all the Gillette products, Gillette is part of a very large conglomerate.
No, so you boycott the conglomerate's products.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that's an interesting topic.
Could you imagine if Unilever, a product from Unilever, fucking did a commercial like this? You could literally buy almost nothing in the net.
That's a practical problem.
Here we have the brands of Procter and Gamble, because Procter and Gamble is the owner of Gillette.
Yeah.
And I seriously think, yeah, sure, we can send them a message. We can tell them, oh, look at that, you did this to us. They're not going to respond to that. They're simply not. Because they're simply going to ignore it.
Yeah.
If we want to do something,
Well, you can forget about it always.
we vote with our wallet. We vote with our feet.
No, absolutely. But you have to tell them you're doing it.
No, you don't have to tell them.
No, you tell them they're doing it because that's what they notice. If they get a large mailbag of complaints, they will notice.
Oh, yeah.
They already know it, I'm sure.
No, but the point is don't leave it to other people. It only takes 10 minutes. Send them an email and just say, I'm so disgusted at you. I'm never going to use your product again because of the Gillette ad. You don't even need to outline why. Don't do their work for them. Just tell them you're angry and it's going to have consequences.
Well, I'm going to respond to Nick. Nick, a boycott of Gillette is not intended to destroy them. Boycotts never do that. It's just to make a point. And you know what, Nick? I 100% agree with you. I don't think we should destroy Procter & Gamble. But I do think we should do more than just boycott Gillette. Let's say, you know what, for a month, 2 months, no more than that, don't buy any Procter & Gamble shit. None of it. None of it. I mean, in Gillette, you know what?
But they own Vicks. How do you do that? So think about that. They own Vicks, right? It's flu season. Your kid needs some sleep, so you want to put a little bit of Vicks on them. What do? How do you, like...
Well, an alternative product.
There are alternative products.
That's the problem is that it's so...
Usually the alternatives I've noticed are just the generic brand of whatever, say NyQuil is Equate, but they're the same thing.
But aren't they made in the same factory?
Yeah, they're the same thing.
And they get the same... Well, no, they're made in the same factory and they get the same money. Like, who owns those side products? You know, who owns the generic product?
Maybe they own the generic products as well. If you buy the branded one or you buy the generic one, they make less money.
Less profit, yeah.
The generic one, and that is
one question. What I asked myself is,
anyway.
If you look at that product spread, a lot of these are, I would venture about 85 to 90% of this stuff is bought by women and not by men. You know, always. Charmin, probably Dawn, dishwasher, Febreze, probably.
No, because you're forgetting how many single households there are. And there's a lot. I buy all my stuff because, in fact, even when I was married, I bought the vast majority of the shopping, so I get to choose, and I'm not alone.
Another thing.
I'm just wondering whether the 200,000 people.
Seconds, because I need to point this out, because this is something that we always overlook. And in all fairness, Alicia not so long ago made a point about that. It is not only men that get affected by this. It is not only men that are upset by this. So let's say
I'd be really interested.
Female products, because females will join in, because people are upset by this.
Just only counterpoint, I would say, if the 200,000 upvoters aren't just bought, if they were genuine upvotes from genuine people, then wouldn't it stand to reason that they might even switch to Procter&Gamble products in order to kind of make up for it?
Doesn't matter.
Social
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Probably why they went SJW is because did you notice that they own Tampax?
Mm-hmm.
They own Tampax. And Tampax just did that. They already got, so they own two of the biggest female products, right? Women have to use them every month. And in a couple of states, they actually did pass the no taxing the tampon crap. So this is probably... obviously this is feminism on steroids, and I don't know what other product. That's the hard thing is that, so if you're a woman, right, you want to help out, you want to boycott their products, but there's like only Tampax and only Always that are made a certain way that are safe to use, so then you're kind of screwing yourself. And I think that's the problem, is we've allowed these companies to have such monopolies that we're living in like a neo-feudal state, because we are. It's kind of scary how much power they have, and they can yield and say, well, I don't care if you don't like this commercial. We own all the products. So boycott us. What are you going to do?
I'm sorry. I just had this hilarious image of a bunch of people dressed in Procter&Gamble armor suits going up and fighting against the corporation that owns Pepsi, KFC, and Taco Bell.
But in all fairness, as a true feminist, you could always free bleed. Okay, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. It's nasty. No, but we shouldn't just say, okay, you know what, buy their products, because I agree with you, it's going to be very difficult. But buy less of them. Don't buy them for a few months. Buy not the A brand, but the B brand. So
you heard it here, guys. Modwain endorses not washing your clothes or your hair. Let that dandruff build up to fight feminism.
No, buy you.
He will shower snow over the matriarch.
You're right.
I have an idea. What if instead, right? And everybody on the not crazy left, we really need to get organized, because I think the only way to effectively boycott at this point in time is to do one tiny product at a time. One product at a time. So, like in the case when Ben & Jerry's did what they did, you just don't buy their particular, like their one kind of ice cream. So everybody says, okay, we're not going to buy this vanilla ice cream. And then, because then they're really going to see it. They'll see it because if it's targeted enough, it's not going to hurt the consumer, but it's going to get back, oh, this product sucks. We need to figure out why. Right? Think about it in terms of a business model. If you want to take out the competition, you take it out one little product at a time. That's how Barbie did it with every single stinking person that came up against it. And if you want to know, that's how they got rid of Bratz. They got rid of all of them. They got
rid of Bratz because Bratz got tied up in a whole bunch of PTA stuff for selling sex to kids.
Alicia, can I ask you, as the only woman on the stream, what did you think of the way women were portrayed in this in this
I
piece.
found it disgusting. That my first thing is that they're portraying us as weak, horrible human beings that don't have a fucking mind of our own. It's absolutely disgusting, and it terrifies me because the first thing I honest to God thought is they're training me to be submissive to some fucked up religion where I have to cover myself again.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it
That's
feels
how
like.
I felt.
It's deeply sexist.
And that right there, her look, like, look at her. How pathetic.
Yeah.
How did she even get there? She wouldn't be in that effing boardroom if she was like that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
And you have two functions. You can be the suffering mother in this society.
If she was in that boardroom like that, it's because she got favored and positioned up there because she is not conditioned to do the work.
Oh.
Yeah. So they have two ways. Just to summarize, I think they have two ways of showing the women. One is a suffering mother, and the other one is the sexy young girl that needs protection. That's the two roles that you have for them. You know, at the pool with the bikinis and the black men protecting them, or like sexualized walking through the streets, or this other one, the mother that. Silently mourns with her child about bullying and not doing anything about it.
Because girls never
just
bully.
Suffering.
Just remember
these girls are fucking vicious.
Yeah.
Girls are vicious, heartless little shit stains when they're in elementary school. I hated every single one I came across. Oh my God. I can't even dream of the amount of times I thought about pushing someone off the freaking playground and just walking away.
Well, I told you guys how Drusilla handled her bully. You know, Drusilla's 3 and this 8-year-old girl tried to choke her out. She put her hand over her mouth. She covered her nose and started choking her. And she was 8, so 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. But Drusilla watches Raven's Karate, and she headbutted that girl square in the nose. I'm surprised the girl's nose didn't break. The little girl was in tears running back to daddy. And I was like, you want to say something? She was trying to kill my kid. She ain't going to bully again. It's true.
Yeah.
Need to teach kids to stand up to bullies.
Absolutely. That's the thing. But this is where social justice warriors always go wrong. They don't.
You should also be willing.
They don't have kids.
No, but this is what's
no. I'm all for standing up for yourself, but you should be willing to learn or to teach when to fight your battles. That's the more important one.
And this is where social justice warriors always go wrong. It's not about standing up for yourself. It's about how other people should recognize that they should stand down. And it doesn't work like that. And if you don't teach people to stand up for themselves, what you are creating is a failed society. And we are in a failed society where, in all fairness, if we look at it globally, a certain group of people can do no wrong, and a certain group of people can do no right, based on ethnicity and nothing else. And that's what this is streaming.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to make a comment about that particular clip with the guy grabbing the chick's ass.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, every single time I've seen that in every TV show growing up, and I have because it happens. Every single time, the next thing that follows is she turns around and beats the out of it. Every single time, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, slapstick.
What they're not showing, and the reason they cut it, is she's about to turn around and shove that duster down his fucking throat.
Yeah, but female violence on men is funny, whereas men's violence on women is terrifying. And of course, it's not that black and white.
Yeah, I think it's often portrayed differently. Which
no, that's what I'm saying. It's portrayed as for women. To attack a man, it's portrayed as acceptable, if not funny. It's always justified. There's never anything wrong with it.
I noticed that as I was growing up, as kids got older, in it's when you're younger, violence between boys and girls kind of is a typical thing. But as I got older, the shows kind of started to play up that boys can beat the snot out of each other, don't touch a girl, but a girl can smack a boy. You tend to get that narrative as you get older. But if you go back to like, kids, like there was a show I watched, a bunch of kids lived in a treehouse and they fought adults. And boys and girls beating the snot out of each other was played for humor on both sides.
Yeah.
It was funny. But they were also like 10.
I was truly egalitarian when I was 10. If you bully me, I fuck you up if I can get you.
Yeah,
That
because
doesn't
that
matter to
concept
me.
doesn't exist to 10-year-olds.
It's like
At least not in the way we see it.
you're
tend to
causing
beat the
me
shit
harm,
out of
I'm
each
gonna
other.
cause you harm. I didn't give a fuck. If somebody hit me, I hit back.
Yeah, but at 10, you don't tend to put each other in the hospital.
Yeah.
Not unless you're pushed to the point where you grab a piece of rebar and show up at school.
No, but
and
you know
beat
what I
someone's
mean,
kid
in general.
Yeah, in general.
I almost did that with the baseball bat at B. Thank God I didn't catch the guy.
That happened at one of the schools around here when I was a kid. It wasn't mine, but it was pretty bad. Our school went into lockdown for like 2 hours.
The one thing I wonder about this ad, in the beginning, they show boys in different situations as well. And in the beginning, they show this protected boy running away, protected by the mom and kind of mourning or being sad or having PTSD or whatever. And then, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but then they show these boys fight or just fighting. And that's obviously bad in their mind. And it's behavior that needs to be changed. Whereas,
Raven?
Sorry?
Can you play this little part here?
Yeah, there's two parts. So there's one when they start fighting. It's after the boardroom thing. So making the same old excuse, and then they say boys will be boys, and then you see 40 guys burning their dicks on barbecues.
Why are they all grilling corn?
I don't know.
It's phallic.
Hilarious.
It's phallic.
But then later on, when it turns around, and then they show the good role models. It started with a black father and some positive imagery. Then they'll one of the white guys, decides to better himself and stop the fighting and saying that's not who we are. Or that's not what we do. Or whatever That it's very subtle. But it's basically, and see the black guy there in the background. He does the right thing. He sits there like a girl with the feet crossed over, as you're supposed to as a boy. That's the right thing to do.
Take the color out of it, and the real problem is that he separated these two scenes, because if you put them together, that's generally what's likely to happen. Kids start fighting, dads look over, boys will be boys. Kids tend to get a little bit more serious, dads look over, and they separate it before things get too bad. That's how that should go.
It's what men do anyway.
It's not just how men do; it's how boys socialize. That's the difference between and
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If you put these two clips together,
that's the thing. Yeah.
If you put the two clips together and play them back to back, it's an okay scene. Yep. You separate them specifically to denote one is bad and one is good. The reality is that situation, they play out back to back every single time, unless the parents are shitty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, you have a different as a father. You have a different kind of threshold where you would say, okay, stop. It's getting too hard now. You're hurting the boy.
No, exactly. That's what
clearly,
I'm saying.
You know what the threshold is because you had. As a father, as a functional father, you probably would have done the same thing as a kid, and you would have noticed when you started hurting the other kid. When you
also probably roughhouse with your own kid a little bit too, so you know what he's capable of.
No, not just that, but Jordan Peterson points out that roughhousing is actually part of positive parenting. Is it?
It's really important. Like that? But it's also important for the kids to fight each other. To socialize. But what I'm objecting to is not so much the action of the intervention, but that he says that's not who we are. It's basically, it's basic. I'm trying to get, if I can get the audio, I'm not sure. Let me see. Okay, it's super. I need to get to normal speed.
And there's another one demonetized.
No, I can't. Sorry, say again?
I said there's another one demonetized.
No, I think...
Anyway.
I've been swearing my head off, so...
I don't care. No, but the thing is, boys...
Oh, it's later here. That's where it is. Look, that's not how we treat each other, okay? That's basically the conclusion. So they chopped it up into 5 different pieces, you know. But that's basically the conclusion, that we do not treat each other like that. As in, you can't touch each other, you know. Don't be a boy.
Don't beat the shit out of him for no reason.
Well,
that's a pretty good lesson.
But that didn't look like that, did it?
No, it did. No, it didn't. And I'm agreeing with you, but I'm also.
They were doing it on the. They were also doing it on the lawn. You know, they weren't like near any like potential like big injury risks. You know, it wasn't like they were doing it at the boardwalk or something.
I almost choked my best friend out in a playground when I was 5, but you know, point in cases. You should teach your child that you don't just go out and beat someone down for no reason.
I understand this, or I looked at all the single images, and I didn't see I actually specifically looked whether the hands were on the throat, but he was just on the shirt, and they were really very gentle to each other. So it didn't look dangerous at all. It's just what they do is that they make it like, you know, fast. No, you know.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just adding that on as additional color.
Oh yeah, I fought with one of my longest friends so many times when we were kids. It's ridiculous.
The kids wrestled, even I did.
And then like 5 or 10 minutes later, you show up at the other, whoever left that door you go to, you know, and it's like, hey, want to chill?
Whoever hasn't seen Smirkus just asked about the link. I think you asked about the link to the video. I shared it in the private chat on the Hangout. It's 13 million views. It's like a pop song, 13 million views, and it seems to stabilize at a ratio of 2 to 1, 2 dislikes to 1 like, 726,000 dislikes to 322.
Can I just say that it was a lot more dislikes than that when I disliked it? So they are. It
was 1 to 10. It started
no,
ratio 1
there
to
were
10.
more number. They have definitely reduced the number. There were over 800,000 dislikes.
Really?
I disliked it.
Wow.
Actually, I remember reading an article that said there were 800,000 dislikes on it.
Wow.
So
that's amazing. So that's 80,000 people who changed their minds after their spouses threatened them with a roller pin. You're not going to sleep in my bed tonight if you don't undislike this.
Because I remember that when I put it, it was at minus 2,200. Oh, sorry, 220,000. And when I looked at it later, it was slightly below 220,000. And I'm like, no, I didn't even look. I didn't realize to look.
Whoa! Hey, ho! Hey, real, is that dislike in real time?
Well, I loaded the video about 10 minutes ago, so I don't know what it's now.
Because now it's 707,000.
Yeah.
So during this live stream, within 20 minutes, it's bled another 19,000 subs. That's amazing.
I'm sure somebody, a bigger YouTuber is going to pick up on this and going to make a really big stink about it. Messing with those numbers is not cool.
There are a few.
No, you don't see that wrong, John. It's everybody's seeing the light now. They're changing their minds, don't you know?
Obviously not.
They all went to the video again and thought, well, it's not that bad. Let's remove that dislike. Give them a like instead. Or maybe it's like this. People heard that the dislikes only work when you click the dislike button twice.
No. Even YouTube, with its YouTube review thingy, that was the most disliked ever. Even they didn't Jerry.
No, see, here's the thing, because the likes aren't even proportional to switching their view, or like switching over, because there's only 331 additional likes. Yeah. I don't think 19,000 switched over that quickly.
No one switched over.
No one. I wouldn't say anybody who switched over from dislike to like unless they're really retarded. I don't know, but yeah, it's very unlikely that they removed the dislikes. Very, very unlikely.
Can I just talk about this part a little bit?
Go on, Smurkers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The men need to hold the other men accountable. It's like in society, doesn't everyone have to hold each other accountable?
Yeah.
And it's not them or whatever. I mean, we don't, but yeah.
No, we should, and that's the problem.
We do. That's the
We
problem.
already do it.
We already do
Hold
it.
other men accountable. Women need to hold other women accountable. Everybody needs to hold each other accountable.
But it's you see, Smurkers, it's not true unless a black man says it.
Neil Raven, you've been talking a lot, mate. 1 second, please.
Sorry.
If we look at the upvotes and downvotes on the screen Real Raven is sharing for us now, it has minus 700,000. It has plus 300,000. When I downvoted it, we were at, as I said, minus 220,000. It was a 1 in 10 vote. They only had 20,000 upvotes and 200,000, more than 200,000 downvotes. So they've been taking off downvotes time and time and time again.
And
Now, they might not take down upvotes, but even after they've taken down so many downvotes, they are still mostly disliked.
And they're also adding upvotes. I think the upvotes grow at a much faster rate. I don't believe. I really don't believe that the thing got 11,000 upvotes in the last 20 minutes. I had 322, and Smurkers has 331.
Hey guys, I don't mean to be rude, but I gotta go. Work starts soon, so I'll catch you all later.
All right.
Yeah, nobody. Take care, bro.
Peace.
See you next time.
Yep.
In all fairness, it is nearly time for us to call it quits again, is it? No, it's not.
It's 12:30, man.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm sorry.
We still have another hour of fucking talking over
Well,
each other.
I think if you had one word to describe this video, what would you call it? Mine is psychopathic.
Oh, okay. No, mine is a lot simpler. Bullshit.
Good.
Nothing in this is to be taken serious. It's so incredibly narrative driven. All of it is a lie. And the worst part is that even if it were true, it's not as bad as they portray it. Yeah, but boys rough and tumble. Yeah, so what?
There'll be no going back, remember?
Boys bully each other. Yeah, so what? Women bully each other. Yeah, boys harass women. Yeah, so what? Women harass women. Men harass men. Women harass men too. The thing is, they are trying to push the, oh, look at the poor victim mentality.
Yeah.
Whereas the reality is, okay, you know what? Some people might actually do this. So we need to teach people how to deal with it.
Dude, can I just say one thing? I like how the one dad with the son is breaking up the 4 or 5 people that are bullying the one guy.
Well, I'm actually thinking about making a new clip. Use the old clip and then just put in new words.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We should work on that together.
Yeah, this part. I like this part when the dad breaks him up.
Yeah, that's the only place where a white guy, well, he kind of looks Italian or something, does something positive, and I think it's near the end. So I think the idea is that the message has made him better. It's a really long clip. It's a 1 minute 50 seconds long clip. It's a very long clip for an advertisement. So they're driving home that message, and then in the last 20 seconds, the white man redeems himself under the watchful eyes.
They have a shorter version. They have a shorter version on their second channel.
Oh, interesting. Be interesting to see what they left out. I'd say probably the pool scene.
Well, yeah, and probably the rap video as well, because let's be honest, there aren't that many white rap videos, are there?
Rap video?
Well, standing with the hands in the gang signs, and then there's this white girl being harassed while she's standing there.
It's funny. I saw Peter Molyneux critiquing that. He was having such a laugh attack when he saw that. It was like, it's such a normal thing, The guy, what is this? Doing this really weird gesture. I'm trying to find it. I find it hilarious. It's like, I don't know, men are either stupid or dysfunctional. There it is. What is this?
I haven't seen a lot of white rappers making rap videos like that.
It's not rap. I think this is more like just a party scene, you know. I think it's like party at the pool or something, you know.
It could be like an EDM clip or something.
Yeah, well, it's on television, so you're probably right. It's probably like whatever, music video culture or some shit.
Yeah.
No, they probably had to make it specially.
They're not sing. Oh, they made all this specially. I'd say none of this is. This is all planned. This is all scripted. None of this is like just random.
Can you put it one frame forward?
Forward? Okay, wait.
Yeah, that's the other direction.
All right. Okay, wait.
More, I want to see more of the girl.
Yeah. Wait. I'll just. You lecture. This?
Yeah. Stop. This is good. Can you see how incredibly oppressed she is?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I said earlier. There's two classes of women. There's the suffering one, and then there's the young ones. They're to be protected. They're innocent and sexualized at the same time. You know, bikinis and young, and they have no care in the world. They have no responsibility. They're the ones that need to be protected. And then there's the older ones that are kind of the mothers and the working women in the boardroom. They're the sufferers. But I think that's the only two roles that are allowed in progressive land with women. You know, this is basically the child role. You know,
but isn't that inherently very disingenuous toward women?
Yeah,
it's super sexist. Anyway, super sexist.
They are
disingenuous on both sides.
There's no one is sexist towards women.
I would say the women are. It's more sexist towards women and is more racist towards the men. This ad is. You know, I think it's really racist against men. It's really sexist towards women.
Well done. You've just summed up intersectional feminism.
True.
It
didn't used to be like that. I mean, feminism didn't used to be like that. It wasn't
Don't
that racialized.
Believe it. Don't believe
no,
it.
I don't think it was super racialized like that.
Believe it.
A moment in time when feminism wasn't like that. Trust me on that.
Feminism started off racist.
I did say it wrong. I'm not saying they were never racist. I think that they got more and more, or intersectionality made it really racist.
No. Intersectionality made.
Or let's say obviously racist.
Feminism started racist. It started in America with white women campaigning to deny black people the vote.
Yeah, but it lost that for a while. I think that went in the 70s. That kind of went under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, but intersectionality was the 50s, so you wrong.
Maybe I don't know. I don't think that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that feminism was overtly racist in the 70s or 80s. Not more racist than maybe the overall culture.
In the beginning of the 80s, it was already overtly racist against white people.
Yep.
All right. Didn't know that.
70s, but okay.
Well, I'm only talking from personal experience.
Can I ask you guys Can I ask you a technical question real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have I save PDFs and all sorts of stuff. There's no way that a PDF could be erased, right? Because I just pulled up a PDF that I was going to use to write some stuff down, and it's all gibberish now. It's like all been boxed out.
No, that shouldn't happen. If you've saved it, unless you have corruption on your hard drive, that doesn't happen very often, though.
None of the PDFs are like that, so I don't understand.
It's just one, is it?
It's a particular one, yeah.
No.
Maybe.
I mean, you can change PDFs. You can save PDFs. You can sign them and do stuff to them, and you can save them. And Acrobat Reader can do it, and you can it can crash while it does that. Did you edit it or something?
No.
And it was really okay weird. when you opened it for the first time.
Can we do it in the after stream, because this is very topic.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think the FBI is after you, Alicia. Not yet, anyway.
But
or after us.
if we look at the social justice narrative, and this is true for this Gillette commercial, but this is true for everything else they are doing as well. Women are weak. I mean,
Yep.
you have 3 boys watching this, so it's a music clip. So how are the boys bad? Here we are.
It's not weak. I think helpless. Women are helpless. Completely helpless.
No. They're not helpless. They're weak.
Yeah.
Help is a weakness.
Okay.
Helpless is a weakness. No, look at people like. Actually,
but they want to have it that way. That we are strong, but we're helpless.
Real, please let me talk for a sec.
Okay, sorry.
Someone like Alicia, because she's in the stream anyway, so I can use her as an example. Would you consider her weak?
No.
No.
Helpless?
No.
Why not?
Because she's strong and
because
capable.
she's got agency. Because she's got agency, she does stuff. She's not just sitting there and let stuff happen to her.
So let's take one of those girls and look at them. Are they
what?
Are they weak?
It's hard to tell. Some are, some aren't. You know.
Are they weak? Are they being portrayed as weak?
I
don't know.
Portrayed as having no agency.
Yeah, I think that's bad.
Are they real people?
No.
That's the point. It's not about reality. It's narrative. You have to believe that women can't handle this or can't handle that. Because as long as you believe that, you will fall for the feminist and the social justice bullshit. Once you start hey, this is bullshit, the narrative falls apart.
It's a feminist objectification. They're basically turning women into objects. That's what they do.
Yeah. It's not men that treat women badly. It's feminists that treat women badly.
Yes.
And feminists like to think that all women are feminists. Thank God, less than 20% actually is. Yeah, oopsie, what you...
But the 20% seem to have a lot of power.
And that's the whole Bolshevik mentality. People think that they are the majority. And I like to think what Oopsie just said. Have you noticed it's always the black man holding the white man back? I actually I'm thinking about making my own voiceover for the commercial. And the black man will say something like, hey, don't talk to the merchandise or something.
That's good. That's not bad. I like it.
Not this time, Whitey.
No, but go back to the other one. The 2 girls at the pool with the black guy.
Okay, I need to find it. Oh, it's just before it.
It's there, just about a few seconds before that.
Okay, here. How is this not a pimp protecting his produce?
Exactly. You have to pay for the girls.
Yo, no talking to the merchandise.
Yeah, exactly. It's so demeaning. It's amazing.
You want to videotape them? $100.
Yeah.
It's bad,
you know.
But I'd love. I told my wife about this thing. I didn't tell her about the contents, and I said I'm not going to tell you. But the whole YouTube's going apeshit with this thing, you know, and that's what we're going to talk about. But she hasn't seen it yet. But I really would like her unbiased opinion when she sees it, just to see what she thinks of it, if she actually gets it.
No, I just had to say hi, Crusader. Crusader joined as well.
Oh, hi, Crusader.
No, but the thing is, we get pushed into a certain narrative, and it's pushing men and women apart, obviously, and it's pushing black men and white men apart, obviously. And white men are the big bad guy. And we have seen this sort of narrative in the past before. This is what happened to Italy in the 1990. This is what happened to Germany. Guys, we are at the start of another revolution. And we've already seen this happening in, for example, France with the yellow vests. And the yellow vests are already spreading over Europe. It's not unlike how fascism spread over Europe at the beginning of the 20th century.
No, if you keep people from the political process, they will find extra political ways of participating and protesting.
And I am seriously worried, because if we look at our history, it always ended in bloodshed, and I'm afraid it will end in bloodshed once again.
Well, what's a couple thousand people less in the world, bro?
Well, I mean, too bad Carlos is gone, because Carlos would make that very point. There's too many people anyway. Let's kill him.
Yeah, but it's not the how many people. It's which
he would just go.
Hey, you know, I just found something. It's actually racist against white women as well.
It's offensive against everybody.
Have you seen this scene? There's one woman, there's one little girl, and she says, "I am strong," and she's black.
Dude, you know who I miss in these types of things? Gunny, because he would always go, "Fuck it, just nuke them all."
But it's interesting that she has a positive she has a father, or looks like father as a positive role model, so she's allowed that.
Yeah, which is ironic given that the demographic with the fewest.
Yeah, it's not telling the truth.
Is that one?
Exactly. I'll be right back. Okay.
I want to respond to the chat for a second. You said it is a part of an ethnic minority that seeks diversity as a way to not face solid opposition based upon ethnic interest. What? I'm not sure this is something that is based on ethnicity. Now, the video, the Gillete video, yeah, sure, white men are getting displayed as bad and black men are being displayed as positive. But this is not about ethnicity. This is about culture. And they're trying to destroy the Western culture. It's not about black men and white men, because there are plenty of black men who are part of our culture. Oh, yeah. They are our brothers. It's a divide and conquer mentality. This is feminism on a racial way to say.
But dude, have you seen clips from Imam Tawhidi?
Yeah.
He goes like, dude, ISIS and all those people love social justice warriors because they help perpetuate. They help them into office and all that thing. Yeah. Because diversity and. In the meanwhile, that they are plotting the downfall because the extremists get in power.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. Ethnicity is not linked to culture. I agree. Ethnicity isn't linked to culture. That's why I'm not in favor of multiculturalism, but I have no problem with multi-ethnicity. Mm-hmm. How many blacks are your brothers? Well, they're not my familiar brothers, but I have black colleagues that I trust with my life, and I know they trust me with theirs. So I know that okay, how many of them? You know, you only know Thomas Sowell. I'll grant you that you don't know many of them. I don't know many of them either. I have to admit with you, mate. The problem is we're being pushed apart. They're trying to do everything they can to divide and conquer. And yes, it really is a tactic. You should read The Prince from Machiavelli, for example. Mm-hmm. And it's a very old book, and it tells you what you can do to destroy a society. Read Karl Marx's work. It's amazing how much they are already predicting what they're going to do to destroy the society. And that's what's going on. It's a divide and conquer on every single base. People are trying to make it about ethnicity. It's not about ethnicity. It's based on culture.
Makes sense.
So you base your decision on personal anecdotes. No, I don't base them on personal anecdotes, Geschichte. Look at, for example, Antifa. Antifa are of the same ethnicity as me, but they're not of the same culture as me. I have a bigger problem with them than I have with black people, on average.
Mhm.
Which ethnicity was Marx? Marx
He
was
was a German.
He was a German. He was a Jewish German, fair enough, but he was a German.
What?
Marx was a Jew.
No, I'm not so surprised at that, but that he was German.
He's a German. It's very important that he was a German.
And Engels was.
I always thought he was like a Russian or something.
No, he was German.
Giovanni Gentile is the proud father of fascism, which is 99% based on Marxism, was an Italian. Rosa Luxemburg was a Polish Jew.
A rabbinic priest class too? The fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, I have no idea what you mean with that, mate.
What is a priced class Jew? I never heard of that.
Priest class.
Priest.
Oh, priest. Oh yeah, it's just a typo.
Maybe. But yeah, no, Marx was definitely German. His family was German. He was German. He moved to England, God knows why.
Because his what do you call it? Sugar daddy Engels was in Britain.
Yeah, though, he was very much based. His work is very much based on Engels' works, and Engels was already wrong.
I think Mu-Geschichte is disagreeing.
I think so. You don't have to believe me.
Not a bit German. He was a German, so I don't know how he was not a bit German.
Well, that's because some people like to think that ethnicity and religion are the same thing. If you wanted to say anything, then Marx was an Ashkenazi, which is basically European. They're not even Jewish Jews; they're European Jews. I mean, it's a culture that lived in, I think, Hungary and parts of what we now call Ukraine. At the turn of 700, 600, something like that. I can't remember right. So, yeah. Ashkenazi Jews are Jews in name only.
He's a Prussian. He's a Prussian. You gotta say Prussian because he was born in Prussia. He's a Prussian. He's not a German. That bastard's a Prussian.
He was a Germanic individual. Just like I am, not saying anything wrong with being Germanic, but he was Germanic.
But he was born, Karl Marx was born into a particular point in history that changed everything. And it's all because of the Prussians and their damn school model that they forced upon everybody else. And now we have communism everywhere, thanks to damn Prussian, King of Prussia.
No, that's not really true either, because the schooling system was way older than that, because that came with...
I'm talking about the particular model of schooling. Yeah. It's like a particular model, not old school. I mean, this was a factory type model that was designed to make children belong to the state. It was the true birth of actual communism, where every child belongs to the state, and he was part of that group that was brought up in that system because of the Prussians falling prey to that Lutheran guy that I can't remember his name right now.
I'm going to go back to Mu-Geschichte for a moment. He hated everyone. I study of the German tribes. Marx, no. Ashkenazi are genetically Semites. Okay, the Ashkenazi were not genetically Semitic. Sorry. The Semites came from the Middle East. The Ashkenazi came from, as I said, Hungary and the Ukraine and the area between them. They are more connected to the Slavs and the Germans than that they are to the Middle Easterners. But yeah, they call themselves Jewish as well. I don't know why. This is historical. They basically aligned themselves with Judaism.
Because it's a mixture, isn't it? Cultural and race-based, isn't it? It's both.
No, the Ashkenazi are not racially equal to the Semites.
No, I'm not saying the Ashkenazi, but the Jews. The idea of Jew is not just racial; it's also cultural. You can be a Jew and you can be an Aryan at the same time, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's how the Ashkenazi game got in. I'm not sure. If
I thought there was a particular belief in Judaism that if you're not descendant of the 12 tribes, you're not technically a Jew.
Yeah, but on some level, the Ashkenazi wormed themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if Marx was an Ashkenazi. I don't think so. I think his parents weren't from that particular line. Maybe they were. I don't know.
Anyway.
Not pseudoscientific, mate. I mean, I don't mind to explain this to you. We're talking about pre-Middle Age Europe, so 500 to 800. You had the Jews from the Middle East, and you had the Jews from well. Yeah, but listen, the Gentiles don't say that much. Don't forget that every European has Asian in them and African. We can pretend that's not the case, but we're sidetracking, by the way, because that's not. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have sidetracked that much. My topic next time, if you want to talk about this, we can do this one day. Muggeschichten, you are welcome. We could do a stream about it. Italians are on average Germanic too, by the way, Crusader. Because after the fall of the Roman Empire, Italy was more or less overrun by the Germanic tribe called the Longobardi. And yeah, the Vikings are a Germanic tribe as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going into it more and more. I shouldn't. Let's go back to the topic. Where were we?
You let yourself get goaded so much.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think this is an interesting topic, though, because a lot of people use this because they don't really always understand what it's about. For example, if we take why did the Nazis hate the Jews? They didn't hate the Jews as such, but they started hating the Jews because of the Spartacus revolution. Hitler didn't hate Jews until the 1990s, roughly 1920s. 1919, 1919, 1920. What happened just before that? The Spartacus Revolution. Now, the Spartacus Revolution was pushed by Jewish Bolsheviks. Are all Jews wrong? No, they weren't. Most Jews aren't part of it. That's the thing, though, and this is true for every culture out there. The silent majority doesn't count. Doesn't mean that they're not there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Muggeschichten. Most leaders in the Spartacus Revolution were Jews. Anyway, we're going to go back to this story. Muggeschichten, seriously, send me a message or something. We can do a stream on this because I do find it interesting, even though I disagree with the black and white view. There is more to it. But let's get back to this one. Where were we? Oh, you got black pilled now. Oh, you got inside the bird box. Raven, why do you have inside the bird box there?
Because I thought it's topical. It's the same kind of reverse racism that we've seen in the Gillete ad. Or racism.
Well, that's the thing, though, because we are living in a world of implied racism, which is being pushed by a certain culture.
Isn't it a certain subculture, though?
I'm going to give another response to Muggeschichten. Muggeschichten, I agree with you that the chat isn't completely topical. That's why I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong. That's why I'm not trying to tell you you're not allowed to talk about this. But that's why I'm trying to tell you, let's do a stream together on this so we can actually talk. But now I want to go back to the topic. And I know I'm pulling ourselves away, so you can blame me for that. But I do hope you pick me up on that one and we do a stream together on this one, Muggeschichten.
It'll be interesting listen, anyway.
But yeah, it might be. Anyway, go back to what you wanted to say, Real Raven. I'm sorry. I just.
Nothing much. No, I was just sick of sharing the Gillette video all the time, and I thought that there's some great parallels inside the Bird Box. I think you should link it. It's a really good. It's by Black Pill, and it's a really good analysis of it. Which if you put the stuff into words. It's quite interesting if you put the stuff into words and note how the different characters are being displayed. Then you really, really find out how racist it is. I think you could say the same for this ad. Just put it into words, and then it gets very, very clear. What kind of agenda is behind it. Oh, Mu-Geschichte thinks that Black Pill is supreme. I didn't even know the channel. It was just floated up by the YouTube algorithm.
And the thing is, so here's my question: So these SJW tactics that we're talking about, this takeover by useful idiots. How many people? What percentage of people do you think fall for this crap? Like, I liked the Bird Box because I didn't let anything get to me about it. But then we ruined it by looking up the book, and the book really was about racism. Like the entire book was about not seeing racism and shit like that. And that being not seeing wait, it was the message in the book was not seeing race made you racist. Because remember back in our day, it was you're supposed to be colorblind, but now to be colorblind is racist, which is so weird to me.
Awful message.
They did manage to stay racist with the film, though.
Oh, I'm going to put people on mute. Seriously, I can't even on my own bloody stream. But Alicia, remember how not too long ago we were talking about? I think it was 1984 from Orwell. Today, the message is 2 + 2 is 5. If you don't believe 2 + 2 is 5, you're bad. Tomorrow,
I know. Not to.
If you don't believe 2 + 2 is 6, you're bad. And at one point in time, you believe 2 + 2 was 5. Therefore, you were always bad. That's
How many people are we up against? Like how many people do you think are like SJWs? Like what percentage? Like would you say 20%?
No.
I'd say a third.
I'd be amazed
I'd say 10%.
I would be amazed if it's even 1%, to be honest.
But that's because you have a stricter definition for SJWs. You see, you think that they're just the ones that are doing activism. I'd say there's the benevolent SJWs who just say, "Oh, that's a good message. This Gillette, it's great. We can do better." It's what John would call gynocentrism. It's one part. And
most people will look at it and say, "Yeah, no, you know what? We could do better."
Yeah.
But they don't recognize that this message is, "Look at how bad you are doing it." Most people don't pick up on that because it is not what's happening in their world. They don't see themselves as bad people, and they don't recognize that the whole world is seeing them as bad people. This was perfectly displayed when you had the, how do you call it? The it's okay to be white joke.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
It's the one. Most people have the one good man syndrome, right? They think they're the exception and everybody else is bad.
It's not even that, because if we look at what happened during the it's okay to be white thing, and I noticed this at my work, and I work with highly educated people. Ooh, it's a little bit of racism to say that it's okay to be white, isn't it? Yeah, that people actually believe that this is the case, it doesn't mean that they are social justice warriors. They are. No. They're brainwashed.
Didn't they put
was that
Australian?
Was that Alicia's question? I don't think that's the answer. Is it, Alicia? Were you asking for SJWs or were you asking for?
No. I was asking. Crusader Soul said that it was a feminist who made the video, and I didn't even think about that. And he said it's a chick from the UK, the United Kingdom. Why is a United Kingdom person like making ads for us over here in America?
Because that's what they do. The ad companies are international.
Yeah.
The British advertising companies have a huge proportion of the world trade, actually.
I'm AFK, but when I come back, I'll show you something else.
So the UK is to blame for the SJW nightmare we're in?
Oh?
Are
No,
you
they're just
sure?
collaborating.
You are not.
Like
You
it to
just
me.
because there's one thing from Britain, you don't get to unload the whole lot.
Oh yeah, I'll blame France. France is to blame for everything.
Useful idiots are everywhere, Alicia.
Well, people have traced it back to Derrida and Foucault, so I think the French.
Yeah, the French should get more of the burden on this one because we already took out Prussia, thank God.
And they went to Canada as well.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. The postmodern people are crazy people, and I really need to do a video exposing is it Foucault? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Foucault, yeah, Foucault.
The crazy bald guy with the glasses who's gay and he'd be walking his dog and he wear white turtlenecks all the time. Foucault? Is that how you pronounce it?
Foucault.
Yeah. Foucault. Which is, fuck all, right? Foucault. Fuck all. We'll talk about fuck all. I didn't know that feminists actually made the video. I find that interesting because
I find it blatantly obvious. Sorry.
Is it a white feminist? Do we know? Was it a white chick? How come she hasn't stepped down? I heard that intersectionality is taken over and that white chicks need to take a back seat.
Actually,
and why aren't transgenders represented at all in this video? I mean, this is the most. It's not even intersectional at all. It really does speak of just white feminism.
Well, it speaks of attacking, not promoting.
Well, so then that's what you need to do is somebody needs to share it on Twitter saying this is an example of white feminism. They don't even care about blah, 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 blah. There was no black. Did we see any black women in it?
Yeah, the little girl with the father.
Women, you said.
Little girl.
Oh, okay.
Are we interested in something from the same person who made the Gillete one?
Yeah.
Wait. I wanted to say about the it's okay to be white shit. They put it through Australian politics, and basically at the end of it, it sort of came around to it's not okay to be white.
Yeah.
Yes. I think they voted against voting on it or some shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, guilt by admission or something.
Yeah.
By inadmission, I guess, in this case.
That's the problem. And that's the problem. And the vast majority of people are basically the silent majority, and they don't really recognize this. They are being basically browbeaten, and they don't recognize it.
Yeah, how can politicians not just go, dude, this is fucking racist. Why are we even talking about this shit? Yeah.
Well, politicians, they're just as infected as the bloody.
Not necessarily that being white is racist, but the whole issue about that was just pure another racism. Again,
let me show you guys another clip of them. Let me know if you can hear it, because I'm not sure if I changed the settings. I shouldn't have. But here, I need to share screen, obviously, otherwise you can't see it. Silly me. Here we go.
Ooh.
This is for Libresse in Sweden.
Can you turn it up?
You're so rare, so fine. I'm so glad you're mine. You're so rare, so
funny.
Okay, that's enough because I don't care that much. Seriously. This is a commercial for Libresse. Libresse is hygiene. How do you call those things? Hygiene
Ed?
pads. Thank you.
I don't give a
Well, at least it's on topic.
I can't even imagine that women are like, oh yeah, no, yeah, sure, yeah, that talks about me.
Sings about me.
Well, feminists fetishize their vaginas. That's the trouble.
Singing Fanny.
So yeah, it's pretty bad. But this is from her as well.
I don't see the problem with this one though.
I don't think it's bad either.
It's comedy.
It reminds me of Archer.
I like the song.
Art channel.
But can you imagine this being a serious commercial aimed at women?
Hey, try getting away with making such a commercial for men.
Yeah, with singing penises. Yeah, that would
that'd be funny. What's a serious commercial? I wonder.
Well, I guess a serious commercial is any commercial that works. So there is that.
You never know. I mean, in a way, the Gillette one worked because everybody's talking about Gillette now, you know. And
oh yeah, even bad press is good press.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
If there are boycotts,
we had several major advertising fails. We had that, was it Pepsi ad, which everyone went mental over.
Can't remember.
We had the that clothing store who had the coolest monkey in the jungle.
Oh yeah.
Everyone went mental over. Because Americans don't understand that we Europeans see things differently.
Well, my son, my little monkey as well. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if someone doesn't think of something in a particular way, you think of it that way, doesn't make them suddenly bad.
Of course. But how do you explain that to a social justice warrior?
You don't. They're so stuck in their ideology, they will never hear you.
And they're projectors, the born projectors.
Yep. It's what they do.
And this is the problem that we're facing, let's be honest. This is the problem that we're facing.
Who's to blame for if you have to blame anyone, who would we blame for this? Like schools that are indoctrinating people into this ideology.
Well, that's interesting. I'm just looking at the short. We should have a quick look at the short version of this clip. It's only 30 seconds. And it's probably, maybe they'll hammer the message home a bit more.
Show it.
Yeah, so it's on. I don't know, shall I share the sound this time, or are we going to get in copyright trouble?
It's only YouTube.
Well, isn't it only copyright if you're claiming any money?
Yeah, no, they can take money from my work.
So I can leave the sound.
No, but I mean, if you're not actually monetizing,
they monetize it? They can monetize it.
Yeah.
Well, no, but this stream isn't monetized. That's what I'm saying. So they can't.
Yes, but they can.
Still. But that's not the problem. I just don't want a copyright strike. That's all for Modwain, you know.
No, what I'm saying isn't copyright only to do with monetization?
No, it's independent. It's nothing to do with monetization. So let's play it without the sound. We know what they say anyway.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Anyway, here just.
Well, stop after 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Yeah,
10 seconds,
yeah,
10
yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, that's the first 5. It's just a white man being full of guilt, and then there's another 5 seconds of boys. There's 3 seconds of boys fighting, and yeah, boys will be boys. Let's see, can we have? No, that one doesn't have closed captions. Oh, it's half speed. That's why it's takes a bit longer. But I think that's good because that'll. So there they say, boys will be boys, and then there's white girls shaking their heads. Pudgy guy. Black guy. That's the midpoint now. The black guy talking about And then guys from the hood. They kept that in. That's interesting.
Well, I can understand that they kept that in because that one black guy, the one in the middle, is actually epitome of Western civilization.
Yeah, but then afterwards they go to the guys in the hood. So I don't understand.
I kind of lost a little bit of respect for Terry Crews now.
So I'm sorry. Go back a little bit.
Yeah, so just after he gives out, you see this street scene with, so it's know, the edgy camera and all that.
That doesn't really have anything to do with Terry Crews. The street scene you're showing now, this is actually a video, and I've seen it on YouTube. It's a black guy. It's black guys fighting each other, and there's a black guy, that one, who says, why are you fighting with each other? I mean, you can fight with each other.
Right.
What you're doing is you're entertaining those idiots. Are you fighting to entertain those idiots? Come on, man. Fight.
All right, okay. So that if it's well known, then that's basically the voice of reason. Yet again, has to come from a black person, from a non-white. It cannot come from a white person ever, because all white men are bumbling idiots.
That's the downside of it, but I do think this is a good. This video itself is a good video. It's the same that that guy that has.
It's a positive message, definitely. It's just that through selective editing, you only, selectively only show positive stuff from non-whites and only negative stuff from whites. That's the problem, right?
It's virtue signaling.
Well, if it was virtue signaling, this was written probably by white people. Then why don't they show like positive?
That's what Mercedes said a moment ago. Alicia asked if it's correct. I already answered that. This is written by a white woman in England.
Yeah,
I think she
doesn't. It's funny she doesn't give white women much credit here.
Well, do you have a name, Modwain?
Modwain.
No, I know he has a real name as well.
He probably likes to get dominated by big black cock.
No. I give me a moment to find it because I'm crap with that. I know I am.
Well, you managed to find something else she did, so I'm thinking then surely you know her name.
Because
the actual ad that is only 24 seconds, and then it's the logo. It's interesting. So they condense that in 24 seconds. White men bad. They cut out the chase thing. They cut out that completely. But they have their self-doubt. And they have the voice of reason. And they have the stupid dick burners who put their junk onto a barbecue.
Yeah, baked out sausage.
Yeah, because there's nothing like using cliche stereotypes in an advert supposed to be, giving a
About
message.
shaving your fucking face.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. You have to admit, when I saw it the first time, like in real time, it was kind of when everybody said "boys will be boys." I mean, it's a tired old cliche, but it's kind of funny seeing it multiplied like that.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not supposed to mean what they now take it to mean.
Yeah. They're basically strawmanning it.
Yeah, they are. They say roughhousing.
Masculinity, boy.
Exactly. It's terrible. It's psychopathic. That's the word that I give it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because sociopathic or psychopathic. Through the means of racism and intersectionality and all this good and happy shit.
But we are portrayed to have no emotions in this clip.
But it's interesting that the last child that they show the future goes back to the white man. So they're obviously really, I wouldn't say they want to get rid of white men. They just want to put them in their place.
Shame. They want to shame.
Like re-educate. It's like a gulag, re-education camp. That's what it is.
Okay, now I have to make sure. Because I did find the one
name
responsible. Yeah, I'm not going to give a name before I'm absolutely sure that this is the case because I'm
You know what we could do? Sorry for cutting across, Modwain. Look at these dislike to dislike ratio. I think that's the real numbers. I don't think that they actually censor this one. It's 12,000 likes to 44,000 dislikes.
They've already changed that one too.
Oh my god! But not that obviously, because it's not the one that everybody's talking about. But isn't it interesting that this one doesn't have all the exposure, and it's much stronger. So I would say if they hadn't fiddled with the long one, it would be similar. It would be kind of 1-to-4 ratio.
Well, it's actually better than 1-to-4.
Yeah, a little bit. 12 to 44. What's that?
On 3.5.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean that would mean that if that was a similar ratio for the other video, then it wouldn't have 600,000 dislikes, but I think around about 1 million if the 200,000 likes are real. And that also means that they almost have removed 500,000 dislikes. It's not bad.
No, here's the thing. It doesn't matter, because as soon as they remove one, the whole lot becomes, there's no credibility to it, right? So
if you can,
they've already, as soon as you can demonstrate they've removed any, then that's the story, not how many they've removed.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is that this what's it called? Anecdote. The plural of anecdote is data, right? So the question is, if a few people say they suspect that their votes have been removed,
no, because you can prove it, because we've seen it go down in real time. So you just need the evidence of it going down. But
you can still explain that people are stupid and that they've removed the dislikes or changed their minds, right? It's not impossible. I know that it's bullshit, but it's not impossible. So it's not a conclusive.
Yeah, I would apply Occam's razor on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
This is annoying.
Occam's razor is not a proof, though.
It is.
It can be.
I think it would be more. It would be better to look at the fluctuations, and how fast they go, and whether it's really physically possible that they go down that fast.
I think you're overthinking it, to be honest, mate. I think the fact that it's going down at all,
in
a systematic fashion, is demonstration of a lack of credibility.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I'm just trying to be awkward, John.
Yes, and
I'm trying to figure out.
We'll let you off.
The video clip is indeed made by the person I think it is made of.
Yeah.
The thing is,
the name.
As I said, I don't want to give out a name if I'm not sure.
Well, let's look. They link to an activist site. The best man can be. I wonder what they're saying there. Let's see. Let's fly over it quickly. It's time we acknowledge that brands like ours play a role in influencing culture.
And that is a fundamental problem with that company. No, stop it. None of your business. Go away.
Maybe shopping culture. Reflecting on the types of men and behaviors we want to celebrate. Really? Inviting all men to strive to be better. We pledge, oh my God. We pledge to actively challenge the stereotypes. Ooh. Means to be a man everywhere you see, Gillete.
Considering that I haven't shaved for quite a while, I wasn't to begin with. But I can say, people, Dollar Shave Club, Wilkinson, and hell, big razors. Fuck Gillette.
That's amazing. I mean, they have amazing ads anyway. Dollar Shave Club. I think they really should pick up the slack and come up with a counter campaign right now.
They actually dropped a tweet thanking Gillette and new members.
Oh my god. Oh, this one sounds dangerous. To help create a new standard for boys to admire and for men to achieve. Our tagline needs to continue to inspire us all to be better every day and to help create a new standard for boys to admire and for men to achieve. For boys to admire and for men to achieve. A standard for boys to admire and for men to achieve. So men are really still the ones that have the agency, right? Because the boys of today.
I mean, that is the whole message. The whole message
changes.
of the video is
Only men
attacking
can
men
change it.
by appealing to their vanity.
Yeah. And asking them for action as well. Nobody else can do it.
Yeah.
I can't find out. I found it. I found out who made it, but I only found the name once. So I'd rather not drop it here without
Hang on.
We can find out.
Hang on. During the ad, which was filmed by Australian director Kim Gehrig.
Thank you. I know
Gaelic.
that's the name I had.
She's not British, she's Australian, as it says here.
Oh.
I think it was. But yeah, no, it was a woman. And if we look at the rest
corrected.
If we look at the rest of her work, she has the vulva one I showed you a moment ago. You know what? I'm going to share a page 1 second. I'll show you some of the stuff of her. Share. Hoppa, there we go. Play. This girl can.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Cheap thick.
Yeah, this is enough because I don't want to get. So this is the
I think
sort
I
of.
know that one. I also thought that was an English director.
Then there is this. Well, no, I can't show them all. I don't care. But let me see if I can show what Madam looks
It
like.
says Daily Mail, woke Kim Gehrig, radical feminist genius. The genius is in quotes.
Yeah, well, it should be in quotes because let's be honest. This is the same as a feminist comedian. Yeah, I mean, people push that they are comedians because they're feminists. Never mind the fact that they're not funny. I think
Well,
I'll go on.
no,
Sorry.
isn't that why it's hard, like, we have to fight two different things, right? So you have the feminists that have done so much for so long against us, and now when like a transgender wins in sports against girls, it's hard to like not say, well, you got feminists, you're to blame for this, so why do we need to help you out?
Well, that's true. But I totally agree with you. It's beyond stupid that transgenders, especially adult transgenders that have lived till the age of 18 as a man, can compete with women because they have the physical capability of a man.
Yeah.
Their body is built like a man. They have stronger bone structures. They have stronger muscles. The muscles are tied differently to the bone structures.
And the extra estrogen that they're taking does something to the bones as well, keeping their density, I believe.
The bones are already built. So once the bones are there and the muscles are there, yeah, you can take estrogen.
I heard something that the estrogen actually reinforces or keeps the bones denser longer or something.
Yeah. Actually, because testosterone is basically a poison. This is a truth. That's why.
You know what? Our most athletes aren't feminists, though, right? So most female athletes, like in high school and junior high, where this is really affecting, most of them aren't feminists, right? So they're
long day. Not for a very. No, but that's the whole thing. Feminism pushes.
Did you guys pop up, everybody?
Okay. I've linked a picture of her in the chat on the Hangout. Click on it and guess how old she is.
In the chat.
Yeah, in the
Yeah, I've seen it.
I already
Hangout.
I don't know, 30,
Mid 40s.
30, 44.
46.
This picture is better.
Sorry,
46.
she's 35.
All right. Oh, okay. Well, just be
No,
a
but
bad picture.
I'm more with the people who guessed in the 40s because I thought she was in her 40s.
I don't know.
Shit.
He's a feminist.
Come on.
Hey,
She
can
just
I have a
might
moment
have had
here?
a
Can I
bad
have a
makeup
moment here
day.
to read this little bit that I found?
Yeah, sure. I'll share you.
I don't know what the hell GQ is, but they're saying Bala and Gillette. Bala is like the
GQ is
North
a
American
feminist
brand
magazine.
director. And they say Bala and Gillette are also making the sound bet that a progressive-leaning market strategy will pay dividends. Many brands have commodified wokeness with great success. Nike's revenues leapt after unveiling its campaign starring Colin Kaepernick. The Patagonia posted massive sales after directly attacking President Trump. And in Gillette's own shaving space, Aries has made reconsidering masculinity a central tenet of its advertising.
Okay. So the message you put when you complain to Procter&Gamble is go woke, go broke.
Get woke, go broke, yeah.
That's why we should try to target and boycott certain products. I agree with.
No, but you've got to tell them.
And while
they're going broke,
Yeah, that is
they're
what-
going woke is what is offensive.
Yeah.
And here,
Definitely
let me
racist
read,
thing.
let me read the rest of this a little bit. And while what's capturing headlines this morning is the intense backlash from conservative men, plenty of people have tweeted their support for the ad. Gillette's new commercial isn't pure marketing either. The brand also pledged to donate $3 million over the next 3 years to nonprofits, starting with the Boys and Girls Club of America.
Yeah, but that's a smokescreen because you shouldn't conflate the two.
Yeah, no shit.
It's no good them saying, oh, we're doing this and this, and if you object to one, you object to the other. No, I'm sorry, that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
A response from hate groups. Like, dude, what the fuck?
The thing, as soon as you disagree with them,
you're a hate group, yeah.
And you're a conservative.
This is
You're a Nazi.
with just about everything in the last few years, and I'm kind of amazed that the first thing that happens in 2019 is bloody well the same thing. This is female Ghostbusters. This is female Ocean 11. This is as if
9 or something. What was it?
Ocean 11.
Ocean 13. 13.
Ocean 13. Okay, sorry. This is everything has to be female. The future is female. Female. Blah 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 blah. Fuck it.
Yeah, so if the
Future is sweating like a pig.
if the future's female, then why are they making such a fuss about men? Why don't they just get on with it?
Well, you know, women hold up half the sky. Hey, never mind that.
And like the Southern Poverty Law Center is such a great character these days.
Racists out there.
if they endorse something or say something, it's almost guaranteed the opposite.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
I would.
They brand Muslims and Islamophobes.
Bob and Vagina.
Well, what did you say, John?
They brand Muslims Islamophobes. And they lost a 3.5 million. They got fined 3.5 million for doing so.
Lol.
Yeah, well.
No one talking, or I'm not hearing anything.
No, it's talking.
Oh, the stream has stopped.
Yeah, basically, everything has been said. People, I'm not telling you not to buy anything from Procter&Gamble because my position is not that I can tell anyone what to do. but I would suggest that maybe if you can find something that is equally good from a competitor, 9 out of 10 times it will probably be cheaper from the competitor too. Maybe leave Procter & Gamble laying in the shop for a while.
Yeah.
But that's my humble opinion.
And just blow up their fucking factories.
The thing is, I don't really care about boycotts, Geschichte, so I understand it. But at the same time, yeah.
We're capitalists. And if you're a capitalist, you vote with your wallet.
You vote with your wallet. And something else, Geschichte. If you're a man, fuck razor blades altogether. What the hell are you doing?
True.
Why would you do anything?
Oh, come on. Some men look great shaved. I love the shaved man.
And some men, are, speaking personally, couldn't grow a beard to save their life. So
There's an old joke, and it's a joke. It's not really representative, but it's a joke. And it basically goes like this. Among the Vikings, yeah, of course there are people without beards.
they're called women.
Call them women.
Native Americans can't grow beards. They don't grow facial hair.
Every man can grow a beard if you give it time.
No, there are types of men who can't grow beards.
They literally don't. It's kind of fun because obviously my first husband was Native American. They don't have facial hair. They don't have chest hair, but they have like this like massive amount of hair on their arms and their legs and in their nose. So gross.
I have to respond to the chat. Oopsie. The Vikings had very nice braids. Well, that is true, but there's another thing. We know, and this is historic fact, we know that among Viking culture, it was rather common to shave, to be honest. So it's a bad... It's a funny joke. It's not a realistic joke.
Because I would have thought in the cold you wouldn't want ice in your beard.
Okay. You know what we should do? We should just keep an eye on the ratio. I thought we were dipping under 2 already, but we're at 2.11 now. If we had made the stream a little bit longer, then the ratio would have probably dipped under 2, which means less than 2 likes per like. But do remember that a day ago it was 10 dislikes per like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are manipulating the numbers. But this is Bolshevik mindset. We pretend that
it's capitalism, baby. I bet they pay for it. They pay Google. I guarantee you.
You see, in capitalism, you listen to your customer and you take heed. They are not being capitalistic.
They're corporatists. They're non-corporatists. They're monopolists. They're mercantilists. Right? Mercantilists don't believe that there's such thing as creating. They just think that everything is already here and you have to get as much as you can. They don't believe in creation.
Yeah, I think they're more property. Recognize the need for creation, but they don't like the idea of competition. That's why people always talk about how we live in a capitalistic society. I'm sorry, people. The last capitalistic society the world has seen was America before the turn of the 20th century. Then it was capitalistic. But in 1913, I think, America lost its capitalism as well. And it became a plutocracy protecting the wealth from the people. Not the wealth. But
that's the same time that the bankers took over.
Ta-da! Incident. I don't.
No, we all know it's the bankers. They make money out of nowhere.
No, they steal money.
They're not even the biggest earning industry out there. At this point in time, the pharmaceutical industry is earning more than the banking industry.
And it's rivaled by what? Porn?
No, porn's not making any money because everyone's giving it away.
True that. Well, they're making some money, but not that much.
That's true.
Porn was the biggest of the internet.
Big pharma. I would say actually biotech companies, because you've got Bayer, right? They bought Monsanto. They own 24% of the food making industry.
Yeah. But
It's scary.
there is something really scary. For example, and this is something I wanted to make a video about, but I'm going to talk about it here for a few seconds. In the Netherlands, they have a shortage of medication. Now, why does the Netherlands have a shortage of medication? Because we have demanded certain prices. We're still overpaying, to be honest, but we've demanded certain prices. And the pharma industry is like, yeah, you know what? For that kind of price, fuck it, we're not producing.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of saying, you know, if you're not producing, we can bloody well produce it ourselves, they're going to say, oh, well, maybe we should look at different pricing then.
So they should go to Africa, buy it all there, where the prices are cheaper, and then ship it back.
What about India, China? We're already importing medication. The Netherlands is already importing medication from China.
Yeah, you know, they've got a massive faking industry now for medications.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Well, I mean, you can still test it.
Isn't the whole patterning game a fucking evil business to begin with?
Yeah.
Patenting.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the patent industry is evil. It should have never been brought about. You can blame the UK for that one.
That's okay.
You blaming us again?
It is.
Look, we did a lot of shit. Some of it wasn't so good. Okay, I accept. It's a mixed heritage. But you can't take all the science we did and then start whinging about a bit of patent law.
Let me explain to you why. Because Alicia made a joke, but there is truth in it. And the truth is that America became America to get away from certain regulations from the government and to get away from the banks. And then America let in the banks.
Well, we fucked up from the beginning because we allowed for patent laws at the beginning.
No, patent law in itself isn't a problem, but the original patent law was like for a few years. So you have a few years' time to earn what you invented. And after those few years, it would be open. And it was like 5 years or something.
Sounds reasonable.
When the banks took over and the Disney company became bigger, they started pushing for longer patent law.
Hang on.
What does Disney have to do with it?
A long time before Disney. How did you get to Disney like that?
Because that was also in 19...
Yeah, and Alicia was talking about from the start, 1776.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Guys, look at this. I thought this is epic. Some guy, I don't know what he did, but he made a comment one day ago and got 53,000 upvotes. Thanks for the moral advice. Multinational company that was recently caught profiting of forced child labor and price fixing. Original comment by user Peanut. And I replied in before the channel owner removes a comment with almost 55,000 upvotes. I just wanted to reply and I'm getting unknown error.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably just been removed while I tried to comment on it.
Have you saved the screenshot?
Oh yeah, I have the screenshot here. I'm going to tweet it.
No. Okay, screenshot. Now refresh. See if the comment is still there.
Okay, one sec. Let's refresh. Boop. Yeah, still there. Maybe that it had too many replies. Let me try and reply again. Come on. Maybe it
Anyway,
broke
what
the system.
does Disney have to do with any of it?
Well,
I don't get it.
part of the, because in the beginning, copyright and patent laws had a certain short period of time that you could use.
Yeah.
It's like 5 years. The Disney company advocated to get it longer after they made loads of money by stealing the stories of other people. I mean,
No shit, huh? They stole like every story. They steal every story, and now they stole yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, that's horrible.
I remember having made a video about the Herculean story of Greek mythology, and I got a copyright claim, so I removed it. I got a copyright claim from the Disney company.
What the fuck?
I mean, I don't want to be rude, but Herculean stories are of the ancient Greeks, not owned by Disney.
Did you find the copyright?
They didn't know that. Well, they gave me a warning, and I was new at YouTube at the time, so I thought, no, I'm not going to do this. This
Was
is
that
bad.
because you included clips, or was it purely for talking about Hercules?
It's just talking about Hercules. I was talking about the Herculean tasks, actually, and how they mix in with modern.
Holy moly! I mean,
I should remake that one, actually.
but the thing is that there are companies who abuse these things. There was a British company, and it was a bunch of lawyers. And what they did was they would just send out letters at random, telling people off for downloading music through when the torrent sites were big.
They're still big, but yeah.
No, but you know, it's when Napster was illegal and things like that, and so they actually sent out these letters, and they would like say, so you've got to give us this money, and it was just bullshit. They had no legal authority to enforce copyright, and they didn't send it to people who they could demonstrate had it. They just did it at random.
I think we need to keep upvoting this comment because it just got 200 upvotes in the time I looked at it. I think maybe they can't delete it while it's being upvoted. So funny.
Yeah.
But it's not an original comment. It was actually copied. So it wasn't even... It said original comment by user Peanut, so it probably would have way more than 53,000 likes. It probably would have 100,000 likes for now.
Well, look at the next one. 53,000, then it's 266 followed by 143.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you see somebody's commenting there on the dislikes going down.
Oh yeah.
So I say it's like, you know, that should become the scandal.
Stop deleting dislikes, please. You've been exposed. No amount of damage control can fix this. Wait, they can delete stuff like that? You're a moron.
But the thing is, and I think we talked. Can't remember.
They're probably trying to keep it under a million. Sorry, go on.
Maybe this is something I talked about. I think it was with you, Smirkers. I can't remember. That a lot of people don't realize how we are being played, how the media is lying to the news, the movies. How do you call these? Social sites like YouTube, Twitter. We are being lied to on so many fronts, and we're not even aware because it doesn't make sense to us that people would lie to us on those places.
You mean it doesn't make sense to the naive?
I do know that I've said on the stream a couple times that there's so much information and disinformation that you don't know what the fuck to do.
They hire companies to do disinformation.
Yeah, of course.
They're dedicated and paid to give disinformation.
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
I love that one. My wife's... You've seen this one, guys, right, John? My wife's boyfriend loved this. Thank you.
Anyway, guys, I think we're going to call it quits because we have been here for more than 2 hours, and the old man needs to work tomorrow. Anything you want? Anything you want to say, guys?
Yeah, share my table tweet.
Get Dollar Shaving Club if you have to.
Yeah. Or don't shave.
Oh, don't shave. Yeah.
I'm a great fan of don't shave. Alicia doesn't agree with me, but
it's okay to be white and a man. I like that. That deserves 53,000 votes.
Oh yeah, I've just uploaded.
I'll just show myself a little bit. I would like y'all to share my tweet from my veteran theme table.
We're going to call it quits now. So I'm
already
not about you, but
I'm also gonna do an interview with Modwain about the whole table.
Yeah, Yeah, we're going to do a table interview with Smirkers not so long in the future. I think Saturday, right?
Yeah, seems good.
And so there is that. And I'm not 100% sure. Geschichte and I will look into it, but there will be coming a stream soon about the topic that we addressed a moment ago. It may be on one of the normal Modwain streams, or maybe we'll do it on a different day. I don't know yet. And I started a new YouTube channel for all those people who are Dutch out there. It's called Modwain in het Nederlands or in het Hollands. Just Google Modwain, you will find it. And yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for talking along with us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm just going to say bye-bye. Bye-bye.